Hello there, everybody. How you doing today? Okay, so we're here over on Doctor Who, introducing another day from the Australia trip. So this is going to be day 3. This was the day, basically our last day in Sydney. We had to leave basically the morning after these clips. We were leaving for Melbourne. Which is where we went over and stayed at the Jazz Corner. Went over to the Melbourne Convention Center to see the Drizzt Knight Rider Rudolph show. And anyway, so this was our last day in Sydney. We go to the Sydney Opera House and stuff here. I show you a little bit around the where our little cottage was that we were staying in over in Miller's Point, up on the rocks over in Sydney. So I take you on a kind of little tour outside of our doorstep there, what was there, and a few other things here. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and upload a clip here. It's from when I was on Mr. Capaldi's channel. Those of you who know Mr. Capaldi. It's over on his channel. We were doing a little chat on his channel, live chat. And we began to talk about Australia and traveling, and he brought up what it was like for him to miss out on Rally last year. And so we had this little chat about, finding a way and finding a way to be out there to support these things and be at these events and stuff, because the payoff of being able to meet with other supporters and talk with other supporters and all that stuff, the feeling of connection that you get and that sort of stuff with other supporters and stuff is awesome. So I want to go ahead and add that clip where him and I were talking about some of the trials and tribulations what prevented him from making it to Manitowoc last year, and what kind of nearly convinced me that to just give up on going to Australia, because I just didn't think I'd be able to get the passport in time, and that it was going to be a huge mess if I was able to, and I ended up being exactly right, but I'm still glad I did it. So I'll let you guys watch that clip here, and then like I said, you'll get to some of the clips of when we were in Australia, which are going to be us having a little bit of fun. So hope you guys like it.
So yes, basically the dude, it was quite stressful. He had to get his passport sorted out.
Okay.
What was interesting was the fact that last year, about this time last year, there was discussion about going to the rally at Manitowoc, and I explained that I could not manage to get because I'd got a wedding to play at.
Right.
And whereas with sometimes with a gig, I can I can give the gig to somebody else to do for me, but because it was people that knew me, and it was just me playing solo, there was no way I could farm that out to somebody to a third party. So there was no way I could get to Manitowoc. And then of course when you was sending me videos back of your time in Manitowoc, and at the rally, and then you said you must make sure you come next year. And of course that's
when I was talking about the Budweiser Brewery.
Which is interesting, because as I say, I'm now entering my 4th week of doing the same as Stacey. I've completely stopped. I've lost about 7 pounds in weight, which I needed to, obviously,
Right.
I mean,
and that'll happen when you stop drinking, for certain.
Yeah. The danger is not to binge on like other stuff, like to eat snacks at night time or chocolate and stuff like that, But I can honestly say that I don't miss the drink at all, because in your mind you begin to realize it's something you've always wanted to do, but just kept putting off and procrastinating over. Anyway, so there's been. I was going to ask you about a little bit of.
Well, actually, I was going to talk about Australia.
Yes. Yeah.
So to talk about in vain with you talking about missing out on Manitowoc last year, right?
Yes.
So when I was getting ready to go to Australia, there was obviously the 15-hour flight.
Yes.
Somewhat daunting. Yes, both and each way. So it's like, so it's 2 flights, right? So, but I think I got over that fairly quickly. And the other problem was I had about maybe about 2 months from the moment that that we all decided we wanted to do this to go see Drizzt, Knight Rider, Rudolph, and all that. And so it was about 2 months. I did not have a passport. Didn't have one. Okay. So I started looking into the process. I figured out how I could go down to one of the federal buildings and I could expedite the process. I could, I figured out how to do everything I could to expedite it. But then they kept screwing up. Yep. I went down there and took them my paperwork. They forgot to keep my birth certificate and handed it back to me. Then send me a letter asking me for it. I overnight it to them. It takes them a week for them to get my birth certificate to meet up with my paperwork again. So by this time, when that day came, when my birth certificate met up with all my paperwork at the, whatever, that was literally it was like, it was about, let me see. It was on a Wednesday when all this stuff met up. I was calling. I literally had Thursday and Friday to get that passport because I was leaving on Monday. So I talked to them actually what I did is I got it Monday morning eventually. I talked to them Thursday and Friday. They said, come down Monday morning, bring this paperwork, that paperwork, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Bring whatever you got, whatever you can to, and everything. So I did. I brought down a bunch more paperwork, affidavits from family members, blah, 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 all this crap, right, that they wanted. So I bring it down there. And this is on Monday morning. I'm leaving Monday night. And I'm down there at the passport office. And so they eventually issued it and whatever. But I'm like completely jammed up. I've already spent about $300, $300 to $400 on getting documents, paying the fees for the passport and all this stuff. And like, it's all just adding up a lot of money, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I got to pay for the really super expedited visa because I'm getting on by noon when I finally got the passport, I'm getting on a plane in like 7 hours. I need to not wait 3 days for a visa. I need it now, right? So I had to pay another, $50 or $60 for that. And oh my God. So it was like, it was taxing in that way, stressful. Was I going to get it in time? It was like, that was the most stressful part. But I mean, honestly, looking at it, that was stressful, but man, the great time I had in Australia greatly outweighs that stress that I was going through to make it happen. Yeah. It's just it kind of just, fades in comparison, or, it's just, I hardly remember how much I hardly remember all that now, and remember more of the fond memories.
Absolutely. It was funny because obviously I was we were in a sort of three-way discussion about the, you and your passport drama. Are you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? And one sort of phrase that did crop up quite a bit about you having to go through the logistics of trying to get to Australia was the word comfort zone. It was taking you as a, as somebody lives in California. I mean, that's somewhere where a lot of people aspire to go to. And there's me and Mark trying to take you from the comfort zone of California and put you in Australia. I mean, that 200 years ago in Britain, we used to do that to our prisoners. We used to send them to Australia.
Right. Yes, right.
So it was very much a case of you have to come out of your comfort zone in order to do this trip. Mm-hmm. And really, that's what we're trying to say to people about the rally in June. It might be a case of you'll have to just take yourself out of your comfort zone, but it'll be worth it. It'll always be worth it. You in fact, for me, I would say that. What was greater? Was it going along and seeing Drizzt, Knight Rider, Rudolph? Even if I hadn't seen them before, that wouldn't be the greatest memory. The best memory is that really forging. We had a good friendship before that, but the fact that we're making it even stronger, Mark and Stacey there, it was just absolutely brilliant, absolutely classic. I mean, I was only joking about wish you'd have got arrested at the football. I honestly.
hey, Travis is hoping I would get arrested in Madison. So there's something out there with people wishing I get arrested. It's just not like folks. I'm too law-abiding person. I just I just follow the rules because it's easier that way. People can't accuse you of wrongdoing when you're pretty much 99% of the time following the rules.
Yeah. Somebody was asking what the T-shirt says.
It's just Doctor Who.
No, not yours, mine.
That one?
I'll show you.
Big Lebowski.
It's a
Big Lebowski, folks.
And Travis will like this one.
There it is.
There you go. Calmer than you are. Which is a line from the film, just in case anybody doesn't know that. It was one of the lines. Since you've been back, your trip to Oz has caused one or two people to question the trip. I don't know how much you want to talk about your new drama, but to me, it's not that important. You know, if somebody seems to think that you've used a load of your YouTube money to get to Australia, that's
no. I mean, I'm not even worried about that. I know I'm aware that that's been said, and I know what and all that, but I'm not. That's just
You know what it is. It's people.
It's not true. So it's just really best left.
They put two and two together and make five. They don't even know your real name. and who would? The only person that knows your real name would have had to have seen your passport. Only then would you know that your true name is Dr. Pepper Horatio Crunch Choice. Dude.
That's it. That's the one. Okay, this is a little clip of the kind of the immediate area outside of Paul and I's little room where we were staying. Pretty cool, nice little area. You can see Sydney across this little kind of harbor there. It's really interesting. So here we go. All right, hello everybody. Here we are. This is outside of our, where we're staying, our little room that we're staying in. Which there's a kind of cool story behind that, and I'll kind of talk about that as well. But going out our door here, I go down a little staircase, which you see right back there. There's another staircase right here. Obviously, you can see that it goes up. And where we're staying is right up here. And what's cool about this is these are all these old workman cottages from back when this area called the Rocks was being built and developed. And this is where these are cottages where the workmen would stay. And some time ago, Mark was saying that they actually wanted to start, redoing this area and making it more modern and stuff. And a lot of people spoke up and wanted to keep the historical kind of heritage of this area going. And so all this stuff got preserved, and it's all protected by a historical society and that sort of stuff. So really cool stuff. I'll show you guys some footage from inside of the room here in a minute. But I wanted to show you some of the stuff outside the room. I mean, you can see some building going on here. They got this little street here. It looks like, it's pretty cool, but it goes up to where this little, we got the bay coming in here. And so there's this sign here on this little post, on this little walkway. I think this is like a tourist spot, obviously. And the thing that I thought was cool was here is all this construction right here. You see this building is under construction. You can see all that building going on, all those, cranes and trucks and everything, and they're hauling dirt out. Anyway, very, very interesting. But I mean, that's a very interesting looking building as well. I mean, that's why I wanted to come down here and film it. So, but this is basically where we're staying at in Australia. And, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. This, you guys can see the city over there, a lot of the high-rise buildings, the big cement, big cranes here with the building. It's pretty awesome. And you can see a lot of these old brick buildings. So a lot of these old brick buildings here in Australia. It's very interesting. Just the old, the look of the brick. I have always liked the look of, brick and that sort of stuff. I've always liked kind of Tudor era you know, architecture and that sort of thing. So I really dig seeing all this brickwork. So, but hey, this is what it is outside of our apartment here, and very interesting. And then, you know, like if you guys would, you know, basically the Sydney Opera House is just over on the other side of those buildings, I believe. And you know, we'll be over there tonight. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys that a little bit, and we'll talk to you later. So sitting here outside the cafe and just finding it funny how these birds are so brave. They just come right up to you. Obviously looking for scraps, but no fear. You don't usually see birds act like that, but interesting. Oh, here came Paul. Scared him off. So these next couple clips are going to be basically our approach to the Sydney Opera House, some footage of the inside, some footage from the observation deck of the Sydney Opera House, and then another couple clips from of the Sydney Opera House at night. So that's what the next couple clips are going to be, just to introduce them. Here we go. Hello there, everybody. Heading over to the Opera House and kind of going through the busy part of the harbor here. Like a contemporary art museum there. Really cool buildings. You got some high rises. And you got the harbor here. Sydney Opera House over there. So pretty cool. You guys might remember those guys. More than these. All right, we're at the Sydney Opera House. I think we're going to be taking a little walk around it here. I'm not sure. You know those two guys in front of me? You may not recognize them from the back, but you know them. All right, everybody. Hello. We're here inside the Sydney Opera House. Some really interesting concrete work here. A lot of nice woodwork as well. Very, very nice. Very interesting. This place has a very interesting shape to it. Hey, you know that guy?
Outside there, look.
Yeah. Up the stairs we go.
Yep. Yeah, outside steps.
Imagine that's probably where we gotta go in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Observation deck. Quite a view from the observation deck, the Sydney Opera House.
green and some yellow ones have specific timetable destinations. This will probably be a high after summertime. We have to take a group of people. That definitely will be included there. But those yellow and green ones. Quite a common thing to do with the higher rates and have it.
Inside of the Sydney Opera House.
Did you choose the show?
What's that?
Did you choose the show? Did you do first and one?
Yeah. No, I didn't. All right, folks. So we just got out of the comedy show. We saw a very funny female comedian, and it was quite funny. So here's the Sydney Opera House at night. All the lights and everything. Pretty cool. Really cool place. And then obviously over here you see the bridge. See if I can zoom that in anymore. I don't think I can. Oh, there it goes. So there's the bridge over there across the water. All lit up at night here. The high-rise buildings over here. So really, really cool place, Sydney. You know, I've had a lot of fun here. Obviously in the morning we head to Melbourne, where I'm going to be getting to chat with Tracy Keogh and hopefully many other supporters there in Melbourne. I know Michelle Saunders and a few others that I'm looking forward to meeting up with in Melbourne. So this is basically so long to Sydney. We leave in the morning for Melbourne, and I'll only see Sydney again when I come here to get on the plane to fly back home. So hope you guys enjoying the footage. Let's look at the Opera House one more time. So there's the Sydney Opera House at night, folks. All lit up from a little bit further away.
But they would have different eyelashes.
Okay, so that's it. That's day 3 of the clips I have for Australia, day 3. The only other thing that would have been in there is my interview with Hugh, but you guys probably already saw I uploaded my interview with Hugh Fraser. So you guys can always go check that out as well. So anyways, but that's about the only thing there that I didn't leave out. That's why you didn't see the inside of the place where we were staying. If I recall, I got to figure out where I put that footage. I know I have footage of it. I just got to figure out where it is. Anyway, but I wanted you to see some of these. These were the really, really cool things that I wanted you guys to be able to see. So anyways, that's day 3 in Australia. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the clips from it. Getting to see Mark and Stacy and Paul and all of us just palling around and doing whatever, right? So anyway, that's that's about it for day 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. We'll see you.